Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Bravo's Restaurant Bar, El Rey Lounge de Versalles, Joint Boutique Hotel and Cowork, Monson Brewing Company, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, Puerto Vallarta Owners Reps, Oculto, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners. Hey, give a thumbs up if humidity is killing you or making your life at least somewhat interesting. Whee! The heat wave has not left yet. It has not left the building, but that's okay. We know it's supposed to happen. We know it's supposed to get humid. What are we going to do? Just commiserate. This is Coffee and Headlines. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Our morning get together live here on Facebook and also live on YouTube, where it's a pleasure to say hello to a bunch of friends that are now watching live on YouTube. It is Tuesday, May 27. We're a little light in news, but that's great because we have a walk. Yesterday, I told you that I took some footage in Guadalajara, and today we are going to feature my walk from the hotel where I was staying to the concert hall where I enjoyed a wonderful concert this past Friday. So we're going to do that, but first we do have a couple of news items as usual. If you have an important comment, please add a capital letter Q. Most certainly, please do that while we're doing the walking tour of Guadalajara, because I'm happy to answer questions about Guadalajara. And of course, if you're watching live for the first time, welcome. And we'd love to give you a personalized welcome if you add a capital letter I. No, a capital letter N. Where did the I come from? Capital letter N as in new. And we'll give you a nice little welcome. And for those of you that are watching later, hello anyway. Let's start with the news. And this is just a reminder, or rather an expanded reminder, of the fact that this Saturday, Puerto Vallarta celebrates its 107th anniversary as a municipality and 57th anniversary as a city. So, Puerto Vallarta City Council is organizing a series of events to commemorate this important date, including a grand armed forces display. So this is all happening this coming Saturday, starting at 8 a.m. in the morning with a civic event at the main plaza across the street from City Hall, where Puerto Vallarta will acknowledge the official anniversary, and the Mexican flag will be raised. Later on in the day at 3 o'clock, the Military Regents Band will perform, accompanied by the Xutle Ballet. This will happen on the Malecon. Then at 4 o'clock, there will be a solemn ceremony at Los Arcos del Malecon. And this is where the Armed Forces display will become one of the main events, including the freefall parachuting exhibition of the Eagle Warriors at 5 p.m. on the Malecon. This will be followed by the air show of the Aztec Eagles. This is an acrobatic squadron from the Mexican Air Force. And there will be cake for everyone at the Malecon. Then starting at 6 p.m., there will be a music show by the Lighthouse on the Malecon, and there will be performances by local and international artists. And a surprise headliner will close the event at midnight. So Saturday will be a very eventful day for our city as we celebrate these important anniversaries. And once again, was it hot enough for you yesterday? This heat wave, which was supposed to subside on Sunday, continues to stick around, affecting most parts of the country. In some places, like the state of Sinaloa, temperatures reached 45.5 Celsius, and that is pretty darn hot. And of course, now we have an official tropical formation in the Pacific. This is number 90E. It is forming off the coast of Guerrero. We don't know if it will become a hurricane. I think it's a little early in the season. I honestly don't think it'll happen, but at the very least, I do hope it will bring some rain to our region as this formation moves north along the Pacific coast through the rest of this week. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. And let's take a quick look at the weather forecast. Let me clear my throat as we do the switcheroo. Here we are. So let me put it up on my screen so that I can see what we're talking about. Why is your local TV weatherman spreading the rumor that he slept with your mother? What? Impossible. But that's what snarky weather is busy with today. It's 30 degrees out there. Humidity is at 61%. Why does it feel so humid to me? I have no idea, but I'm already schwitzing. Today, we can expect a humid day with partly cloudy skies, a high of 32 and a low of 23. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll have another humid day with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 34 and a low of 23. And then Thursday, a humid day with mostly cloudy skies, a high of 32 and a low of 24. So there you have it. This is what our weather is looking like. And I have something that I want to share with you. Well, first of all, do you remember her? Our favorite eye roller. Well, she's lovely. I have nothing against her, but I was having one of those happy moments, if you catch my drift, over the weekend, and a great expression came to mind that I haven't explained here at Coffee and Headlines. And to set the table, I'm going to tell you that it has a perfect English equivalent. In English, when you say hello to someone that you haven't seen, you might be inclined to say, "What's up?" Right? And where you're wondering about a weird situation, you might be inclined to say, "Ooh, what's up with that?" Well, in Spanish, we have the perfect equivalent, a little bit on the impolite side, but who cares? We're friends. So, what is it that I want to share with you? When you want to roll your eyes, you say, "I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me start again. Let me start again. This is my new expression that I want to share with you, everybody. Yes, I know we lost the sound, but the sound is back. You can't fool me. I know that the sound is back. So this is my Spanish equivalent for the English. What's up with that? And it is ¿Qué pedo con eso? And ¿Qué pedo con eso is, well, it includes the word pedo, which is the common way of calling a fart a fart. So is this for dinner conversation? Sure, why not? When do you use it? If somebody tells you a weird story, you can say, ¿Qué pedo con eso? If somebody makes a strange decision, ¿Qué pedo con eso? And it's a fabulous expression that we are going to include instead of our usual eye roller. Are there clouds following people, says Laura. Well, if we could see clouds following people, we would be in deep trouble. Anyhow, this is the expression that I wanted to share with you today. We're going to use it quite frequently, and why not? This will be our equivalent of this gal. Whenever something really strange and inexplicable happens here at Coffee and Headlines, we will use ¿Qué pedo con eso? And this deserves one of these. Purum pum. ¿Qué pedo con eso? Okay, I also want to let you know that I didn't turn the survey on yesterday until yesterday evening, but the survey is up. The survey for this week is: what's the biggest daily life challenge you've faced in Puerto Vallarta? Don't answer here. Please answer the survey, and you will find the link in the show notes today and for the rest of the week. And now, yesterday, of course, I told you that I went to a fabulous concert in Guadalajara with Jalisco Philharmonic. I didn't tell you of a special moment that happened at the concert. The concert included Mendelssohn's Violin Concerto, and there was a guest conductor from representing, no, the soloist was from Canada, I believe. And, he played an encore that was a virtuosic encore, as they usually do. But then he said in Spanish, for a second encore, he said, Ahora una canción de Canadá. Now a song from Canada. And he played this wonderful arrangement of Cohen's Hallelujah. And what made it special is that usually soloists, when they're doing their encores, they play alone. They don't play with accompaniment of any kind. But this kid, he was a very young violinist. He whipped out a special part for the concertmaster, the principal violinist, to accompany him. So it was a beautiful duet between the concertmaster and the soloist that just made the concert special. So I also told you that I had recorded some walks, and I didn't start with my primary walk, which is my walk from the subway to the hotel. Instead, I started with my evening walk from the hotel to the concert hall, just because it was easier to edit this morning. So let me do an official introduction. Where is my official introduction? Here. Boom. Okay, here we are. I am standing at the lobby of Hotel Vista Hermosa, or HVH, in downtown Guadalajara. This is a very affordable hotel, which is where I stayed over the weekend. Well, it was Friday to Saturday. It is approximately 7:30, 7:40 in the evening, and it's going to take me 15 minutes to walk to Teatro de Gollado, and I want to bring you along for the walk. And it all starts with me clicking on this. There you go. Again, this is a very centric hotel. I've stayed here 2 times now, and it's very affordable. It shows up with very affordable prices on Expedia.com. And we are going to walk down Avenida Juarez. Now, this is Guadalajara's equivalent. I stopped for a second to adjust my lighting. There you go. This is Guadalajara's equivalent of Francisco Medina Asensio. In fact, if you were to drive in the opposite direction than I'm walking down this avenue, you would end up in Puerto Vallarta. But as you can see, it's almost becoming nighttime. There's a Soriana there. I frequently go into that supermarket to get essentials if I need them. But the beautiful thing that I want to impress about this walk, well, there's a couple. Number one, it is really, really safe to walk down a wide avenue like this. Number two, it's full of life. There's all kinds of people walking around. And let's remember, this is the same avenue that on weekends, on Sundays, it is close to vehicular traffic. So you see a lot of people jogging and riding bicycles, roller skating, and whatnot. And there was a lot of tagging around the city, and I know that a lot of the tagging that you see in businesses have to do with the recent Women's March. I remember when it happened that there was a lot of commentary on social media that the women got a little crazy with their tagging around the city, and the city has yet to clean it up. Coming up on the left side is the old Telmex building, and you'll see the sculpture of the man pushing the building. Let us remember that back in the 40s or 50s, this street was a lot narrower, and this was the telephone company building, which had to be moved some 15 feet, and it was moved without stopping telephone service in the city, which was really, really amazing. Oh, and it was drizzling. It was drizzling a little bit. I was just slightly concerned about the well-being of my camera, but it was not so bad. It was actually quite refreshing. Um, it was not quite chilly, but it was very comfortable. Of course, I was wearing long pants. Going to the symphony at night calls for long pants, unless you want to stick out like a sore thumb. And let's see. Thanks for the Guadalajara walk, says Barbara. Great seeing your path. Well, this is an easy one. Again, I am just for reference, and some of the stuff you're going to see on the other walk that we're going to do in Guadalajara. This is just a few blocks away from the stores where I shop for my crafting, and the stores where I shop for just all the things that I shop for in Guadalajara. Let's see comments that I see. Laura comments, this is nice and seems like lots going on and close to shops and nice walk. Yes. Now, will you find the malls or the shopping centers in this part of town? No. You find smaller shops, which, if you ask me and you're looking for affordable stuff, this is the way to go, and this is the place to shop. Like, my favorite brand of shoes, Flexi, is coming up on the left-hand side. There are bookstores. Angelica asks, is that Hidalgo Avenue? No, this is Juarez. Hidalgo Avenue is 3 blocks to the left. And yes, Harold is correct. The Telmex building was put on train rails to move it away from the street right of way when this avenue was expanded. I love the fact that there are benches for you to sit, and look at all the trees. There's always trees in these avenues, which I think is super awesome. Coming up on the left is Plaza Universidad, or University Plaza. It is called this because there's a number of education centers around here, but we are 1 block away from the intersection, the main intersection. This is just a quick view of, there's Telas Parisina right behind it. I made a stop there. Anyhow, this is Plaza Universidad. We're 1 block away from Avenida 16 de Septiembre, September the 16th Avenue, which I remember. You'll see it after we walk through this building. I remember it when it was still open for vehicular traffic, and it was like a crazy 6 or 7 lane wide. And it took the city of Guadalajara a number of years to make all the traffic go underground. And now it is an amazing pedestrian street. And it's coming up right at the corner of this building. And here it is. Now, the wonderful thing about walking in this area is there's always something going on. Whenever there are big celebrations, this is where the city puts things. On the weekends, there's volleyball tournaments going on here, and of course, there is Guadalajara's cathedral in the background. We're actually gonna go in a second. I crashed a wedding without knowing that I was crashing a wedding. Let me see. Let me look at your comments. Jerome says, what is the name of the hotel you stayed at? Please. It was the HVH Hotel. There's a one hotel on the left-hand side, by the way. That's another popular stay for people going to Guadalajara. It's very conveniently located. It's a little bit more expensive, so I don't know that I necessarily would stay there. And of course, we also just walked past the building that I was walking through the arches. The DoubleTree Hotel is upstairs. I stayed there once. And even if you don't stay there, because it's expensive, there's a beautiful restaurant at the top where you can see this entire plaza. Purim pum pum. To the right, although you cannot quite see it here, is the government palace. And as we approach the cathedral, this is now called Paseo Alcalde. This is a pedestrian-only walkway that goes for blocks and blocks and blocks. Let me jump over to your comments very quickly. Bam. Yes, it is a gorgeous city. The cathedral in the twilight looks stunning. Absolutely. And yes, the new subway line 3 was built underground of 16 de septiembre. Jerome says, I loved visiting Guadalajara a couple of years ago and stayed near there. Absolutely. I mean, if I'm going to a concert in downtown Guadalajara or if I'm shopping for errands, this is where I like to stay. If I'm going to a concert in Zapopan, I might stay elsewhere. But look at those freaking tags. They even tagged the cathedral, which is horrible. But I decided to go in. And as I went in very quietly, the priest was literally saying, will you take this ring? And I'm like, oops, a wedding in process.
Marisa, recibe este anillo como signo de mi amor y de que siempre te seré
Whoop.
fiel. En el nombre del Padre y del Hijo y del Espíritu Santo.
May they have a happy life. Da, 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 da. This is a great walk. Must remind myself to watch it again before going to Guadalajara one day, says Linda. You know, what I love about downtown Guadalajara is that there's a lot to see, there's a lot to do, and it's all flat. Even if you went for a quick weekend trip to this general area, there are museums, there are concerts, there are There is shopping, there is history to be what there's architecture. So if you were to ask me where would I want to stay and what would I want to do for my first ever trip to Guadalajara, I would definitely recommend staying in this area and just going with the flow. So now we see to the right what is known as the the main plaza, right across the street from the Palacio de Gobierno, which is that building on the right hand side. Can I point to this? Yes, I can. There is the Palacio de Gobierno. This is where the government makes its decisions. And we're walking behind the cathedral, and we are heading to the Teatro Degollado, which is the home of the Jalisco Philharmonic. There are other events that go on there on a regular basis. And between the cathedral and the Teatro Degollado, or the Degollado Theater, is Liberation Plaza, or Plaza de la Liberación. We're about to enter it as we cross the street. And this is yet another plaza where there's always something going on or some special installation. As you can see, a number of streets in the downtown area are now closed to vehicular traffic, which makes it really fun to explore. And let's see what else we have in terms of comments. Did you ever visit the huge market in Guadalajara? Not on this trip, Jerome, but it is a place that I love to go to. And yes, the tagging was crazy with those marchers. Did you go somewhere nice to eat? Nope. This was a budget trip, so I ate very budget. And now you can see it in the background. There is the Degollado Theater, and I just love this walk because at this point, I'm approaching my temple. I am approaching the time of the concert. The theater is beautifully lit. I can see some kind of geodesic dome on the left-hand side, which was installed there. I don't know exactly why. I didn't stick around. And of course, I'm thinking of the music that I'm about to watch. There was Alborada del Gracioso by Ravel. There was the Violin Concerto. There was Pavan by Ravel. And there was the two suites from Daphnis and Chloe, which I was very much looking forward to seeing. As I get closer to the theater, I detect or identify what seems to be a wooden sculpture of a whale, and I confirmed that as I got closer to it. There was whale song coming out of speakers. A lovely surprise. And then I started noticing people posing for photographs and flash photography going on right on the other side of the whale sculpture. And I don't know if this was a graduation ceremony or what, but there were people dressed up for the occasion, and there was flash photography going on. It seemed like a private group, so I just kind of cut through it. And there is my temple. Teatro Degollado. Just my favorite place to be in Guadalajara. Big dress. Made me a little envious. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. There's another look at the whale sculpture and the cathedral in the background. And here we go. Look at the beautiful Teatro Degollado. It's still a little early. There's still like a half an hour to go. So people are just getting started to gather right outside of the theater. And this is my walk. It was very leisurely, and again, it took approximately 15 minutes to walk from one side, from my hotel to the concert hall. Again, in the middle of downtown Guadalajara, a great way to get started with the city. And now let's look at your comments. Any comments? Did I miss anything else that I wanted to show you today? No, I think we got it all. Yes. Let us take a quick look at the rest of your comments just to see what's going on in your minds. Look at my head. It's shiny. And it's because I'm schwitzing. Lots of good mornings. I appreciate those. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Oh, wonderful. Betsy had lunch at Trovasi Cafe yesterday. Fabulous. Join the friends of Trovasi. Thanks for the connection, Paco. It is my pleasure, Betsy. And of course, you know I love hearing these stories of connections being made through coffee and headlines. Lars says, suggestion to all the cluster, if you are hot, do a plunge in an ice bath. Of course, you would say that, Larsito. You do it twice a week and you're used to the shock. Actually, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the place where Lars goes for his ice baths because it's a place full of wonderful energy that you might be interested in exploring at some point. Hashtag wellness. Cake for everyone, yes, but will there be as much cake on the Malecon as there was Pan de Muertos back in November? Oh, I have no idea. I never fall for these free food experiences. It's just not my cup of tea. But plus, I'm going to be out of town, so hopefully there will be enough cake for everyone. Let's see what else we have. Liz says, always walk on the shady side of the street. Absolutely. And keep water handy. Best wishes. Great suggestions, Liz. Thank you for that. And then I went without sound. My bad. And I already apologized. Boom, 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 boom. Of course, it is always my fault. If that was for me, guilty as charged. I get dizzy sometimes. Susan liked the new experience, the new expression. I'm glad you did. ¿Qué pedo con eso? Like, you can say that to me whenever I mute the sound by mistake. You can certainly ¿qué pedo con eso? Let's see what else. Great segue. Lars, ice cream for breakfast. Yes, please. So that's a good alternative. Instead of an ice bath, I would take ice cream for breakfast. Boom, 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 boom. Then I'm looking again at your comments about the walk. I'm so glad to see that you enjoyed it. I'm going to mention something else about the lighting on the cathedral. A lot of times there are light shows and video mapping that goes on the cathedral. And the way they do it in Guadalajara is just absolutely beautiful. Many, many comments from the walk. Thank you very much. I think I already acknowledged most of these. The red double-decker tour bus can get boarded across the corner next to the north side of the cathedral. You know, that tour bus is something that I have never done, but I have friends that have done it, and it's yet another great way to get acquainted with Guadalajara for the first time. And I think we are... Oh, you were teasing Muffin. I was teasing Muffin about the sound being off, that it was his fault. Well, of course, it is my fault. And when it's not my fault, it is Muffin's fault. Sure, I'll drink to that. Too early for drinking. I think I'm done here. Yes, I think we're done with what I had set for today. Today, I'm going to be editing my other walk in Guadalajara, which was from the bus to the subway to this downtown area, what I did to get there. And I just want to show you how easy it is to do it once you learn to not be afraid of the subway, which it took me several years. And now I don't know all these years that I traveled to Guadalajara without actually going on the subway. It is so easy to get around, but we'll save that for tomorrow. Between today and tomorrow, stay kind, stay connected, stay supportive, and stay in touch. I'll see you again tomorrow morning.